Hi guys, this is Tim with Inflatable Office and Event Office, and I wanted to go through some of the things that you can do with our Workers module related to dealing with vendors and subcontractors. Now, um, we have an entire vendor module that is free of charge that comes with the system, and we do plan to make a lot of improvements to that over the next year. But I know some of you have, for some reasons, decided that you like the workers package for that. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that, and we're going to kind of talk about some of the differences between the two. So if you were renting some equipment to an event and possibly you had a costume character, we're going to do this as an example. It could be a balloon twister, it could be whatever, someone who's going to perform or do something. A lot of times you're going to add them to that and you'll have an item set up for them. And in this case here, you can see the event is 3 hours. But a lot of times you're going to use like an advanced time here, and you're going to actually set it differently because maybe they're only going to be there for an hour, maybe just from the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour, and you can put that in, and that will then affect the way the billing is for that performer. So that's pretty important. It will also affect all your data as you're printing out stuff for the client and so forth. You would want them to know the specific time that you're planning on doing that. So that's usually going to be done no matter what you're doing. If you're using the workers module or if you're using our vendor tools for that, either way, you're going to have the item on the lead because you're going to need to show that to the customer. You're going to need to bill that properly. So where we start to diverge is at this point. So a lot of people, well, at least I should say some people, what they'll do is they'll use workers to schedule their entertainers. And one of the big reasons I think that they like doing that is that the entertainer can then log on to the worker site and see what jobs they're supposed to be doing and when they should be there and so forth. And there's ways to, have it display additional information as well. I will say that one of the downsides to using that way is whatever information you're displaying on the pop-up for that shift, it can only be set globally. So all of your workers would see whatever information it is you put there. Now we did add something called with this little notes field. So what you could do is, and let me start from scratch here, and I'm going to say what we're going to do probably first is we're going to make a position related specifically to that costume character person. So maybe we have a person, Bill's, costume characters. We would probably put that in as the position so that anytime we have or scheduling that company, we would kind of use their name there as the position, I think. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And there's some other options here you could probably set. None of them are really necessary, but there are some other things here you could set to kind of do some more, adjust the way things are dealt with. So even for paying, you can set this as a contractor. I don't think that any of these really work great for a subcontractor. These work better for your employees. So I'm just going to leave these all empty in this case. So, but anyway, I'm going to save that. The other thing that you're going to have to do is set up a worker for this person. And I'm not going to go through the process of setting up a worker. We're going to say that this Kim Speedster is our worker that we want to use here. So first I want to mark them approved. And you can use the same sort of thing, use that link and send it out to your vendors and subcontractors and have them sign up for their own accounts, and then you'll mark them approved like this, and then you'll come down here and you're going to want to check the position that they would be set up for. Okay. You could even have maybe some policies in a training program that you could have set to them. When it comes down to permissions, you're probably going to only want to do the worker site permissions. So if you search on worker site, it'll bring up, for the most part, all the worker site permissions here. You can see these other ones are grabbed as well just because there are matches with these words. But these are the ones that we want to consider for anyone that we would be doing as a subcontractor that we want to give access to different things regarding their job. So anyway, we can save and close that. And I know I would have changed those permissions a little bit in most cases. So now we see Kim Speedster is now over here. So if we came back to this lead and we wanted to schedule, and I'm going to have to refresh this real quick here. So let me save it and do a refresh, because some of that stuff won't be on here yet because we just set it up for the first time. So I'm going to come back down to the shifts, and I'm going to add a shift. And what we can do is we can say we want them to actually meet at the event, not at either of our warehouses. And that kind of helps them with mapping and stuff. And then we're going to pick that position, which is kind of the company name. And then we're going to go ahead and pick the person at that company that maybe is in charge of assigning those people. And then in here is where we can kind of put some notes about this shift or this job that we're doing for them. So maybe we can say, make sure you bring balloons. I don't know. Something like that. And that then would be something specific that would be displayed just on this shift, so no other workers would see it. So that's potentially a good way to get additional information out there to that vendor that's doing that work for you. So now there's as far as getting them purchase order, contracts, different things like that, using the workers module like this doesn't really cut it very well. And so what I'm going to do tomorrow is go through how we would set this up if we were to use our vendor tools instead. And then you guys will have the information that you need to kind of pick the pieces and parts that you think are important. And maybe you want to use parts of both of them to manage your vendors and stuff, and make sure that they get there on time, make sure that they understand everything that's going on with the event, and so forth. So that's a real quick way just to kind of give you a little bit of information on how you could use this for vendors and subcontractors. I know there are a lot more details involved in doing that sort of work, and everybody kind of does it a little different. If there's something that I didn't cover that you have a question about, please feel free to post it in the comments below this video, and I'll be happy to answer that. And if it's something that's a little more difficult to answer in a comment, maybe I'll just add another video another day to kind of give you more information. So thanks so much, guys, for listening. And as always, use the comments to ask questions about additional things that you might want. All right, thank you.